tale comes true when one of the 12 finalists becomes the new Miss SA.
Vanaand word 'n sprokiesverhaal bewaarheid, hier lewendig vanuit die Sun City Super Bowl.
We're coming to you live from the biggest entertainment center in Southern Africa, Sun City, where Sun International are proud to be hosting Miss SA 1991 in the spectacular Sun City Super Bowl. Here now, the reigning Miss South Africa 1990. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Suzette van der Merwe.
Good evening and thank you for joining us here at the 1991 Sunday Times Report Miss South Africa Beauty Pageant. In just under 2 hours' time, I'll be handing over my title to the new Miss South Africa 91. En al die finaliste wat gespanne wag op die uitslag hier vanaand, wil ek net sê sterkte en voorspoed. Glo my, ek weet presies wat julle op hierdie oomblik deurmaak. And now, let's go on with the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome now on stage Miss Judy Page and Neville Nash from Sun City's spectacular stage production, Bravo!
Now is the time, this is the time, this is the big, big time. Now is the time to crown Miss SA. We've got the music and the marching and the whole parade is going. Listen now to what we have to say. This is the time, this is the time, this is the big, big time. And you'll know it when the moment arrives. For tonight is gonna be the greatest thing you've ever seen. This time is the best time of their lives. This is the time, this is the time, this is the big, big time. And you'll know it when the moment arrives. For tonight is gonna be the greatest thing you've ever seen. This time is the best time of their lives.
Dames en heren, speciale gastkunstenaars vanaand, Judy Page, Neville Nash.
And the full company of the current Sun City Extravaganza, Bravo!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on stage now, your hosts for the evening, Doreen Morris and Scott Scott.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Goeienaand aan almal. En Doreen, ek wil net vir jou sê, soos gewoonlik, lyk jy baie pragtig in jou Spiro Biliati uitrusting en ek moet vir jou sê, dis wonderlik om weer saam met 'n ster te werk. Ek lyk vir ons 5000 gehoorlede vanaand in die Sun City Super Bowl en ons miljoene kykers by die huis. Almal hartlik welkom hier by die 1991 rapport Sunday Times mevrou SA skoonheidskompetisie.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the tension and excitement of the 1991 Sunday Times Report Miss South Africa Beauty Pageant. Not only do we have a star-studded cast on the stage, we also have some very special people in our audience.
Doreen, ja, ek het gesien dat ek en jy op ons tone soen wees, want ons baas van Mnet, Koos Becker, is vanaand hier.
And we also have the chairman of Mnet, Mr. Ton Forster. Welcome.
En dan ook natuurlijk die hoofredakteur van het rapport, meneer Isak de Villiers.
Editor-in-chief of the Sunday Times, Mr. Ken Owen. Welcome. And then we also have the Sun King himself, our host, has graced us with his presence, Mr. Saul Kersner. Welcome and enjoy the evening with us.
Jy weet wat interessant is, Doreen? Die sonkoning, soos ons hom nou leer ken het oor die afgelope paar jare, is 'n man met groot idees en drome. En die Sun City kompleks is seker een van die grootste vermaaklikheidssentrums in die wêreld. Ek weet hy is die grootste in die suidelike halfrond, maar blykbaar is die sonkoning nie meer tevrede daarmee nie. Hy's besig met 'n nuwe droom, 'n nuwe projek, so bietjie groter, die verlore stad, of soos dit gaan bekend staan, the Lost City.
Yes, no one can accuse Sun City or Saul Kersner of complacency, and we can expect things on a much grander scale at the Lost City.
Is daar nog enigiemand anders wat jy opgemerk het en nie gehoor?
Ja, Scott, ons minister Jean Lou en sy gawe vrou mevrou Hantie Lou, goeienaand, baie welkom by ons.
Wel, dames en here, dit gaan vanaand alles gebeur hier in die Sun City Super Bowl. En om die wiele aan die rol te sit, en natuurlik, soos hulle sê, dit is 'n regstreekse uitsending. Met ander woorde, soos die Engelse mense vir ons sê, it's happening live, folks. So, wees maar saam met ons en kuier saam met ons. Maar om die wiele aan die rol te sit, die aankoms van ons 12 pragtige finaliste vir die 1991 rapport Sunday Times mevrou SA skoonheidskompetisie.
American Airways announces the arrival of flight Miss SA 1991. Suid-Afrikaanse lugdiens kondig aan die aankoms van vlug met juffrou SA 1991.
Dames en heren, verwelkom ons 12 prachtige finalisten vir die 1991 rapport Sunday Times mevrou SA skoonheidscompetitie. Hulle is allemaal geklee in daguitrustings ontwerp deur Sean Borstrap, Bert Perekotte en Sandton City en juweliersware is verskaf deur F. Friedman Juweliers. Hier is ons eerste finalist, KARRYN EISELE. Sy is 21 jaar oud en sy is van Omslange Rocks in Natal.
She is 20 years old and from PE, our second contestant, Odette VANONSELEN.
Dames en heren, ons derde finalist, die 23-jarige Amy Kleinhans van Wynberg in Kaapstad.
Also from Cape Town, here's Sasha-Lee Walton.
Dames en heren, ons vijfde finalist vanuit Tulbagse wêreld, die 24-jarige SANET LANGENHOVEN.
She's 19 from East London, CHANTELLE FOURIE.
Dames en heren, al die pad vanaf Welgemoed in Kaapstad, die 20-jarige Olga du TOIT.
Sy is 19 vanaf die Kaap, Natalie BENARD, gekleed deur terracotta, juweliersware F. Friedman juweliers.
Dames en heren, een jong dametje vanaf Johannesburg, die 22-jarige Diana Tilden-Davis.
Van Kaapstad kom die 23-jarige LYNDA MACKENZIE.
Dames en heren, ons enigste finalis vanuit die Vrystaat, die 19-jarige TAYANÉ Wilson van Bloemfontein.
And the most patient of them all the way from Cape Town, 21-year-old Paul Mitchell from Mitchell's Plain.
Dames en heren, ons 12 prachtige finaliste vir die 1991 rapport Sunday Times mevrou SA skoonheidscompetisie. En hulle is natuurlijk allemaal gekleed in uitrustings verskaf deur terracotta van SANET City en juweliersware deur F. Friedman juweliers. Daar sy dames en heren, ons 12 prachtige finaliste, soos julle hier sal sien. En weet jy, vanaand gaan een van hierdie gelukkige dametjies se toekoms vir altyd verander word deur die gebeure wat vanaand hier gaan plaasvind.
How about another warm round of applause, please? Don't they look beautiful? Our 12 finalists, dressed by terracotta and their Friedman jewelers. Thank you so much. Now tonight our show is enhanced by what's referred to as a color commentary booth at the back of the auditorium.
Nou sy dames en here, een van ons mede-kollegas van MNet, die pragtige Sue-Ann Brown.
Hi, Uncle Scott. Yes, it's going to be my privilege to be here talking about the girls and the judging. And tonight, for the very first time ever, we will be revealing the results of the judges' scoring sessions live on television. Those scores will bring us to the 5 top girls, and finally, the second princess, first princess, and Miss South Africa 1991 will be announced. A little later on, we'll be explaining the scoring system in a bit more detail. Scott.
Baie dankie Sue-Ann. Dames en here, die tyd het aangebreek om u voor te stel aan 2 van Suid-Afrika se gewildste en bekendste skoonhede. En ons eerste skoonheid is al die pad vanaf Los Angeles in Amerika. Sy het ook die mevrou heelal titel gewen in 1978. Dames en here, Margaret Gardner.
Hello, Margaret.
Good evening, Doreen, Scott. Goeienaand, dames en heren. Het is wonderlijk om terug in Zuid-Afrika te wees. Thank you for your warm response.
And now it's my privilege to introduce to you South Africa's very first ever Miss World title winner. She was crowned in 1958 and she has remained as beautiful, as youthful, as radiant and as charming as ever. She is Penny Coonan-Ray.
Scott. Hallo Doreen.
Welcome, Penny.
Goeienaand, dames en heren.
Wel, Margaret en Penny, dit is wonderlik om julle vanaand hier by ons te hê. Jy weet, Margaret, ek onthou nog toe jy dit alles reg gedoen het met daardie mevrou heelal titel in 1978.
Yes, tonight has brought back very many special memories for both Penny and I. Scott, when we leave the stage, Penny and I will be going to the booth high at the back of the auditorium, where we'll be telling our viewing audience at home what the judges are looking for and how they'll be assessing the girls.
But right now, I'd like us to remember our other international beauty queen. She is a little sad that she can't be here with us tonight, but she has the best reason in the world. Annalene Kriel is literally counting the hours to the birth of her second child. Annie, our thoughts are with you tonight.
Well, we're thinking of Annalene and wish her all the best. And Margaret, we have quite a climb up there.
I know, we better get going.
It's going to be fun. Thank you.
Penny en Margaret, baie dankie. Ons sal so deur die loop van die aand met julle gesels.
Thank you.
We'll be introducing you to our judges a little later on. Right now, let's get on with the show.
Jy weet, dames en here, hierdie groot aand vanaand sou natuurlik glad nie borge nie. Want hierdie jaar gaan die mevrou SA vir 1991 onder andere pryse ter waarde van R250,000 wen van die eksklusiewe besigheidsentrum Sandton City.
Yes, our show is marked by glamour and style all the way tonight. And right now, you're all invited to an exclusive fashion extravaganza courtesy of Sandton City, your world in one.
Exquisite jewelry from F. Friedman Jewelers. New West vir haar geskep deur Aramis. Fashion by Gravity.
it's got to be green.
I am allergic to jealousy.
I know my footsteps following me.
Reb. Designer Leather will be giving the new Miss SA a custom-made leather coat. Jade en Annelien Kriel versameling van John Oz. Gucci Menswear from John Oars and Elzevita Rosenworth.
Dames en heren, soos jy self kan sien, wonderlike pryse wat hierdie jaar gewend gaan word. Maar ja, ons is so te sê gereed om ons pragtige finaliste vanaand te sien in die beoordelingskategorie skemerdrag.
But it's been a long road getting to this point. Firstly, selecting the semi-finalists from all the hundreds of entries that poured in.
Ja, en daarna daar beoordeling dwars oor die land plaasgevind. Hulle was onder andere by die Royal Hotel in Durban, die Peninsula in Kaapstad en die Carlton Hotel in Johannesburg. En uiteindelik het hulle vir ons die 12 pragtige finaliste gekies.
And now it's all in the hands of the judges, huh, Scott?
Doreen, dit is reg en ek dink op hierdie stadium moet ons dalk net ons beoordelaars vanaand aan ons gehoor hierso in die Sun City Super Bowl en so ook natuurlik ons kykers by die huis voorstel. Wat ek net hier in die trappe kan afkom. En ons eerste beoordelaar vanaand wat ek graag aan u wil voorstel, meneer Errol Arends, bekende modeontwerper vanaf Kaapstad. Goeienaand Errol, hartlik welkom. En ons tweede beoordelaar vir die 1991 rapport Sunday Times mevrou SA skoonheidskompetisie, 'n dame wat u ken, seker van die kassie, sy's 'n bekende televisiepersoonlikheid en sy is ook baie lank. Sy het vir my gesê ek moet dit sê, Marjorie Brooks. Goeienaand Marjorie, baie welkom. Dames en heren, ons derde beoordelaar vanaand weet meer van seiljagte as ek dink almal saam in die Sun City Super Bowl. Meneer Bertie Reed. Good evening Bertie, welcome. Ek bring ons dan by ons vierde beoordelaar wat ek vanaand aan u gaan voorstel. 'n Top besigheidsdame in Suid-Afrika, Elizabeth Chabalala. Good evening Elizabeth and welcome. En die vyfde en laaste beoordelaar aan my kant van die verhoog, 'n baie bekende in die teaterwêreld in Suid-Afrika, wat baie vir die teater doen, meneer Pieter Torin. Goeienaand Pieter, hartlik welkom. Wel Doreen, daar het ons die 5 beoordelaars aan my kant en daarmee is dit oor na jou kant toe.
Thank you, Scott. On my side, I'd like to welcome well-known TV actor Zach Du Plessis, star of Orkney Snorkney. Goeienaand, Zach. and he's seated next to $1 million baby. Sandy McChrystal, Miss South Africa 1980. Did you know that during the year of her reign, she had her legs alone insured for R1 million? Sandy, good evening. Welcome. Nog 'n baie bekende televisiester in ons midde, akteur Frank Opperman, ster van The Big Time en Orkney Snorkney. Frank, goeienaand. Dankie, welkom hier by ons. And our last judge on my side is Mr. Rusty Evans. He is Deputy Director General of Foreign Affairs. Good evening. Welcome, Rusty. And I'd like to thank all the judges for their time and their dedication. And it's back to you, Scott.
Baie dankie Doreen, ek wil sommer van hierdie kans gebruik maak om ons beoordelaars vanaand hier te bedank vir die tyd wat hulle afgestaan het om die beoordeling waar te neem. Nou dames en here, terwyl ek die beoordelaars aan my kant van die verhoog aan die voorgestel het, het u seker opgemerk dat daar 'n persoon aan die regterkant van die verhoog weggesteek sit agter 'n rekenaar. En ek wil net hê hy moet vir ons opstaan. Die persoon se naam is Derek en hy is vanaand die amptelike en onafhanklike puntehouer vir die 1991 rapport Sunday Times met Juffrou SA skoonheidskompetisie. Goeienaand Derek en hartlik welkom.
Yes, Derek is the magic man tonight. He's the man with all the scores right at his fingertips. He has all the information in his computer, specifically the results of the pre-judging sessions, which will be taken into account in all the final scores that are reflected in the booth. Scott, would you like to explain the judging a little more?
Doreen, ja, ek dink ons moet dit doen. Soos u seker ook besef, is dit heeltemal onmoontlik om 12 pragtige meisies te beoordeel in 2 ure lange sessie. En daarom gaan daar hierdie jaar vorige sessies wat al reeds plaasgevind het, ook in aanmerking geneem gaan word.
Yes, the judges had the opportunity to meet each of the girls individually and to assess them in a number of categories. As we said before, the results of all these pre-judging sessions will be taken into account and reflected in the final scores up in the booth. Suan.
Thank you, Doreen. And here on the screen is an example of what the viewers at home will be seeing as each girl comes onto the stage. This shows a score from each judge and that particular finalist's average score for that category. Scott.
Baie dankie Suan, en dan wil ek ook het net noem vir u dat ons finaliste en die gehoor vanaand nie gaan hoor wat gebeur met die puntetoekennings nie. En natuurlik ook nie ons beoordelaars nie, want ons wil nie hê hulle moet mekaar beïnvloed nie. Daarom dat ons die 3 dames daarboor in die kommentaarhokkie het om ons kykers by die huis op hoogte te hou van sake. Suan.
At the end of each of the 3 categories still to come, we will also be showing you a list of final scores for that category. Please bear in mind that each category has a different contribution to the final score. And remember, looks are not everything in this competition. Qualities of voice, personality, intelligence, general knowledge, and ambassadorial skills are all of equal importance. And just to round off this brief explanation, I'm going to let Margaret and Penny take you through those average scores for the Day West section, which opened tonight's show.
Well, our viewers at home can see that KARRYN was leading and that, well, actually, no, OLGA was in the lead and close behind was Diana in second place. Penny, could you tell us just what the judges were looking for?
Yes, it was their very first opportunity to make a good overall impression. So their deportment, poise, confidence, and ability to carry the clothes well was essential. And you know, with the short skirts especially, a good pair of legs is a great advantage.
It is indeed. Thank you, Penny and Margaret. Now let's get back to Scott and Doreen and on with the show.
And right now it's time for our first commercial break. We'll be back with you in a short while.
Daar sê dames en here, tyd vir 'n handelsflits. So bly ingeskakel en bly hier by ons, moenie weggaan nie. Also dames en here, hartlik welkom terug by die 1991 rapport Sunday Times met Juffrou SA skoonheidskompetisie. Ons verwelkom nou op die verhoog Neville Nash, die Sun City Dancers en ons 12 pragtige finaliste.
Pretty woman, walking down the street, pretty woman, the kind I'd like to meet, pretty woman. I don't believe you, you're not the truth. No one can look as good as you. Mercy. Oh, pretty woman.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now invite you to view our 12 lovely finalists in their cocktail wear, specially designed for them for the occasion by Adele Dallasor of Sandton City. Jewelry supplied by F. Friedman Jewelers. And let's hear it for our first finalist.
My name is Karen Isley, and I'm from the sunny city of Durban. I'm 21 years old, and I'm very proud to be one of the 12 finalists. Enjoy the show.
Karen Isley, a very confident young lady and looking absolutely beautiful. Margaret.
Karen is well-travelled, having visited 4 continents. She also worked as an au pair in London at the age of 17. She's had a lot of responsibility from a very young age, and I'm sure that this will stand her in good stead in the competition.
You know, it's never easy to come on first, and I must say she has coped remarkably well. So poised, and she looks so stunning in that beautiful outfit.
She does indeed. And here we have our first true scores of the evening, with Karen scoring an 8.3 from Judge A and 7.3 from Judge F, with an overall average of 7.7. Nou is het terug naar die verhoog toe.
Dames en heren, finalist nummer 2.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Goedenavond, dames en heren. Ek is Odette van Onselen. Ek verteenwoordig die vriendelike stad van Port Elizabeth.
Odette van Onselen, you know, one of the things I loved about Odette is that she told me that positive thinking is the one ideology that she tries to stick to on her daily basis.
You know, this girl is a natural beauty. I'd seen her first thing in the morning without any makeup on at all, and last thing at night when she's totally exhausted. And this girl always looks wonderful. She's simply gorgeous.
Odette's childhood dream was always to become Miss South Africa, and tonight has really come true for her.
It just might.
You never know.
Let's take a look at Odette's scores at this stage. She scored an 8.4 from Judge A and 8.5 from Judge C, with an average of 7.7. Right now, let's get back to the stage.
She's come a long way, so let's hear it for our third contestant.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Amy Kleinhans. I'm 23 years old, and I'm from Cape Town. Thanks so much for all your support.
Stunning, beautiful, confident young lady, Amy Kleinhans. Margaret.
She says that whether she wins or loses the contest, this has been a character-building course for her and has made her stronger and wiser. She certainly looks marvelous up there.
She does.
I wonder how much studying she's going to do, but she says she has never ever any time for her hobbies.
Well, let's face it, if she wins tonight, she's not going to be studying for a year. Let's take a look at Amy's scores. She's averaged out with a 7.8 and has done pretty well all round. Anyway, let's get back to the stage and the next finalist.
Dames en heren, ons vierde finalist, en sy dra ook uitrusting verskaf deur Adele Hall, en juweliersware verskaf deur F. Friedman Juweliers.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sasha-Lee Walton. I'm 21 years old, and I come from Constantia in the Cape. I really feel honored to be here tonight. Thank you.
One of the things I loved about Sasha was that she told me that she idealizes her grandfather. He is the most important man in her life because he epitomizes all the qualities that she finds good in someone.
She's a very warm-hearted young lady. She told me that she would like to open up a gym for very large people who might be self-conscious in an ordinary gym. I think we'd all like to.
She's so graceful, and she is one girl who has that real inner beauty. And when I asked her why did she enter Miss South Africa, she said she found the qualities that were necessary. And I definitely agree with that.
She's certainly warm. She is. Let's take a look at Sasha's scores at the moment. She's done very well, scoring an 8.4 from Judge G and an average of 7.9. Let's get back to the stage.
Goeienaand, dames en heren. Mijn naam is SANET LANGENHOVEN. Ik is 24 jaar oud en ik kom van die prachtige dorpie Tilbag in die Kaapprovinsie. Geniet julle aandjie saam met ons.
Now this is a girl that I call a real gem, an echte boerenmeisie. Margaret.
Indeed she is. She loves competition and has her colours in hurdling. Her nickname was Sanki Sarel, because when she was little, she used to beat up the neighborhood boys. Looking at her tonight, it looks like she's far outgrown that.
Margaret, we were always Sanet's idol, and she always said that when she was old enough and mature enough, she would like to be as successful as you.
How nice.
And that is why she's entered in the South Africa competition.
Well, she's certainly a star.
Well, let's see what happens, because we've still got quite a way to go tonight. Let's take a look at Sanet's scores. She's averaged out with a 7.2, but right now, let's get back to the stage.
Dames en here, nou ons 6de finalis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here. I am Chantal FOURIE. I'm 19 years old, and I come from East London. Do enjoy your evening with me.
Effervescent Chantal FOURIE. Do you know that she was Miss Personality, and it's easy to see why, isn't it, Margaret?
Absolutely. Anybody who's been in her company for just a little while will be able to understand why she walked up with that title. She's only 19, but she's very mature for her age, and she certainly is accustomed to competition as well. In fact, she competes regularly in triathlons.
Yes, well, she does a lot of swimming and cycling as well, and she really is a girl who takes everything in her stride. And one of the things that she hasn't got is patience. It definitely isn't one of her virtues, but she's really had to learn patience in these last couple of weeks.
She has indeed. Let's take a look at Chantal's scores. At the moment, she's averaged out with a 7.5, and Judge G has given her a lovely high score of 8.4. Maar kom ons gaan terug naar die verhoog toe.
And here's the girl with the lucky number, contestant number 7.
Goeienaand, dames en heren. Ek is Olga, ek is 20 jaar oud en ek is van die plek met die mooie berg, die Kaap. Dankie.
Olga is my persoonlijke gunsteling. Sy is regtig fantasties. Margaret.
She writes jingles for radio and has her own jazz group. I'm a little concerned about Olga, though, because she's very careful in the way she replies to answers. And the judges, who are accustomed to people thinking on their feet and answering immediately, might just hold that against her.
Well, I know that Olga always tells me that she's very interested in human behavior. So maybe this is it. She's sort of watching everybody, asking her the questions.
Absolutely. And let's not forget the night is still very young. We've got a long way to go. It could go either way. Let's take a look at Olga's scores at the moment. She has averaged out at 8.0. Pretty good all round. Right now, let's get back to Scott and Doreen and the next finalist.
Dames en here, finalis in nommer 8, ook geklee in uitrusting verskaf deur Adele Delasso met juweliersware deur F. Friedman Juweliers.
Goeienaand, dames en heren. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Natalie Benard. I'm 18 years old and I'm from Somerset West. Enjoy your evening.
Natalie Benard, who's doing very well with our Super Bowl audience here tonight, she is the youngest of all the girls. Margaret.
She is only 18, and people always mention her age in a detrimental way, but she's very mature for her age and well prepared. And let's not forget, I was 18 when I won the Miss Universe, so I don't think that that should be held against her.
I definitely agree, Mark, but I was also 18.
Well, let's take a look at Natalie's scores at this point. She has scored an average of 7.3, and her highest is a 7.7 from Judge D. Right now, let's get back to the stage.
She's dressed by Adele Delasso, accessorized by F. Friedman Jewelers, our contestant number 9.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Diana Tilden-Davis. I'm 22 years old and I come from Johannesburg. Have a wonderful evening.
Well, judging by the whooping that's going on in the Super Bowl tonight, Diana at the moment seems like the public's current favorite. Margaret, I've got a question though. She has had a lot of pre-publicity prior to this event. Do you think that could affect her in a bad way tonight?
Well, she has had a great deal of publicity, and she's also been a previous finalist. This has given her an edge, not only in the fact that when she walks into a room, people are able to recognize her immediately, but they flock to her, and that has made the rest of the contestants feel just a tad insecure.
Yes. Diana's a girl also that wants to establish her own identity and certainly doesn't want to be compared to her sister Janine Bachveld, who was in Miss South Africa. But in fact, their both girls are so different, aren't they?
Well, maybe she'll be following in her sister's footsteps.
By that applause, who knows?
Let's take a look at Diana's scores.
Dames en heren, ons tiende
She's got a
finalis.
couple of 8s in there. Anyway, let's get back to the stage.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and viewers at home. Welcome to Miss South Africa 1991. I'm Linda Mackenzie, I'm 23 years old, and I represent the beautiful city of Cape Town.
Lots of Cape Town entrants this year. Linda Mackenzie's an interesting girl. You know, she described herself to me as a funny old thing. I don't think anyone here in the Super Bowl tonight would agree with that.
Hardly. Linda is one of the most interesting contestants. She has an eclectic range of interests, and on an intellectual level, she would make a wonderful Miss South Africa.
Oh, she was the only girl who hasn't ever entered any other beauty competitions before. But I mean, who could resist the offer of 750,000 rands worth of prize?
I was thinking of entering myself. And one of the things I loved about Linda was that she said, I have to win, I'm so broke. Anyway, let's take a look at Linda's scores at this point. She's averaged out with a 7.1. Laughetal, terug naar die verhoog toe.
And here she is, contestant number 11.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Goeienaand almal. My naam is Diana Wilson. Ek is 19 jaar oud en van Bloemfontein.
Yes, Diana Wilson, the only entrant from Bloemfontein. Margaret, very often in a competition such as this, youth and naivety can be misconstrued. Do you agree?
It can. She's a very intelligent girl, but she has a wonderful sense of humor, which sometimes gets her into trouble. For instance, when she was asked who she admired most, she said the man who had invented the hairdryer. I can understand that, but I think that if the judges give her a chance to develop her answers, she'll impress them with her intelligence.
Oh, this is a very practical girl and a most enthusiastic one at that. But I do think she has a very unpredictable side to her.
Yes, practical, and who knows, it could go either way. The night is still young. Let's take a look at Diani's scores at this point. She's averaged out with a 7.1, and the scores are looking pretty good all around. Right now, let's get back to the show.
Dames en heren, laaste, maar nie die minste nie, finalis nommer 12.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pearl Mitchell. I'm 21 years old, and I represent the beautiful city of Cape Town. Do enjoy your evening.
Pearl Mitchell, the girl who is known to love and collect teddy bears.
In fact, her brother gave her a teddy bear for good luck for the competition. Pearl Mitchell is a bright girl, very feminine, but realistic, with realistic ideals. She'd like to give indigents legal representation in Mitchell's claim.
Pearl's great ambition is to become an advocate, and what a feminine one she will make.
She will indeed. Let's take a look at her scores. She's averaged out with a 7.1, scoring a nice 8.1 from Judge D. In just a minute, we'll be having all the... Here they are, right on the scores right now. So at the moment, in the lead is Olga with an 8.0, and coming second is Diana with 7.9, and in third place, let me scan my eyes, Sasha-Lee with 7.9, and also Amy with 7.8. But all this, of course, could change. Right now, let's get back to the stage.
I was going to tell you all not to go away because the girls are waiting in the wings in their swimsuits and they're coming up right after the commercial break.
Dames en heren, bly ingeskakel want ons gaan eers gou 'n bietjie kyk na handelsflitsse. die 1991 rapport Sunday Times mee vir SA skoonheidskompetisie. Ons verwelkom nou weer terug op die verhoog die ster van die Sun City Extravaganza, Judy Page en die Sun City Dancers. En ons nooi jy uit op 'n vakansie saam met RCI.
When you turn off all the lights, there's no place that you can hide. No, no, the rhythm is gonna get you. In bed, throw the covers on your head. Pretend like you are dead, but I know it, the rhythm is gonna get you. 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 The rhythm is gonna get you tonight. The rhythm is gonna get you. The rhythm is gonna get you. The rhythm is gonna get you. The rhythm is gonna get you tonight. The rhythm is gonna get you. The rhythm is gonna get you. The rhythm is gonna get you. The rhythm is gonna get you tonight. 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 Tonight.
Dames en here, nou ons finaliste in swemdrag verskaf deur die Sandton City tak van Woolworths en juweliersware verskaf deur F. Friedman Juweliers.
Addressed by Woolworths, accessorized by F. Friedman, and here's KARRYN Isley.
This is probably the most nerve-wracking category of all, and interestingly, it's the one category that the Miss World pageant is looking at doing away with, due to the fact that it excludes so many girls because of religious reasons. Margaret?
Well, I would have been very relieved if I had not had to compete in the swimsuit, I tell you.
Well, let's face it, they spend most of their time on stage without their bathing costumes anyway.
Meaning that they go naked. Let's take a look at KARRYN's scores at this stage. She scored an average of 7.5 with a nice 8.2 from Judge D. Right now, let's get back to the stage.
Dames van here, ons tweede finalis, ODETTE VANONSELEN.
Sy is regtig 'n pragtige meisie hierdie en sover lyk haar puntetelling nie te sleg nie, Margaret.
Odette told me that she was very aware of oversleeping. She woke one morning, found it very quiet. Thinking she'd overslept, she grabbed her roommate and the two of them began applying makeup, only to realize it was 3 a.m. in the morning and they still had 4 more hours to catch up on their beauty sleep.
But at least they still had 4 hours, which is something.
Yes,
Well,
I
she
don't
looks
think...
wonderful after all.
Absolutely, and I don't think beauty sleep is something the girls have been getting much of. Anyway, let's take a look at Odette's scores at this point. She has scored an average of 7.8, and as I said earlier, her scores are looking pretty good all round.
Indeed.
Let's get back to the stage right now.
And from Cape Town comes A.B. Kleinhans.
Such a beautiful, regal-looking lady this, isn't she?
Indeed she is. She walks like a queen and certainly has that inner beauty that is so often associated with beauty winners.
Absolutely.
And the one way she stays in shape is by doing lots of jogging. And she has real stamina. I think she's a real stayer.
So do I. Let's take a look at Amy's scores at this point. Wow, at the moment, she has got the highest out of all the girls that we've seen so far with an average of 8.1. However, I'd like to take this opportunity to remind all our viewers at home, if you've been keeping score, that if a person wins a particular category, does not mean that she is going to be the overall winner for the competition tonight. Right now, though, let's get back to Scott and Doreen.
Dames en here, ons vierde finalis, Sasha-Lee Walton.
What a beautiful girl this is. She absolutely epitomizes the 90s woman for me, and I find it very, very difficult to believe that she was once overweight.
Very hard to believe indeed. She's slim, strong, and she's also intelligent. She told me that when she was young, she and her family would sit and watch the Miss South Africa contest, betting on who the winner would be, never dreaming that she herself would one day be a contestant.
Well, it was her mother who was there to enter her beautiful daughter in her very first competition. And I think it was a very wise move.
Indeed, she's a stunner. Was indeed, and I'm sure her mother, who is here tonight, I believe, must be very, very proud. I can see Sasha is an enormous hit with the crowd around us. They've been going crazy. Let's take a look at Sasha's scores. She's averaged out with 8.0. Pretty good. So far, she's coming second. Right now, let's get back to the stage.
Another Cape Townian contestant, number 5, SANET LANGENHOVEN.
This is a category that was worrying SANET tremendously. Margaret.
Well, SANET loves competition, and she was a little worried about her walk, but the choreographer has been working very closely with her to help her acquire that beauty queen glide, and she certainly seems to be doing very well out there.
SANET was one girl who was so popular with the crew. She was just popular with everyone, with the competitors. She just got into everybody's hearts. She's such a wonderful girl.
She is a lovely girl, and Margaret, she is gliding well indeed, and who knows, she might be gliding off with those 750,000 rands worth of prizes. Right now, let's take a look at her scores. She's averaged out at 7.2 in this round, but we still have one more round to go in the ball gowns. Right now, let's get back to Scotland Arena and the next finalist.
Dames en heren, finalist nummer 6, Chantelle FOURIE.
This girl is a real fitness fanatic. Margaret, do you think that girls are more concerned with health and fitness now more than ever before?
Yes, they are, and it's very evident in this group of ladies. They're streamlined and fit and healthy, and they've been able to endure a very tough schedule. Chantelle told me that she's been keeping in fit during the competition by running up 30 flights of stairs every evening.
Wow. Well, she's a very ambitious girl because she wants to be the world's greatest fashion designer, either for ball gowns or sportswear. I mean, this is quite some contrast, isn't it?
Let's take a look at her scores quickly so we can get on to the next girl. She has averaged out with a 7.4. Right now, let's get back to the stage.
She sings and composes, contestant number 7, ODETTE.
ODETTE looking absolutely stunning in her bathing costume from Woolworths. Margaret.
Well, she told me the most difficult part of the contest for her was walking in high heels. She's also very self-conscious about her weight, feeling that she's far too skinny. But she doesn't look self-conscious to me at all.
And I have a policy, never too rich and never too skinny.
Indeed.
Well, do you know, she's always fantasized to be an astronaut, and actually even wrote to Neil Armstrong to ask for tips. And he wrote to her, and this is one of her most prized and treasured possessions.
Oh, how wonderful. That's very special. Let's take a look at Olga's scores right now. She's averaged out with a 7.8, but the rest of her scores are looking pretty good. En nou terug na die Juffrou Suid-Afrika skoonheidskompetisie.
Dames en heren, finalist nummer 8, NATALIE BENARD.
I'm sure that you'll both agree with me that audience participation in a situation like this is vital, and as our viewers at home can hear, they are having a whale of a time. Natalie doesn't look nervous at all, does she?
No, she walks well naturally, and she's the second tallest amongst the contestants, which is a real advantage in beauty pageants.
And she's also the youngest girl here, and she says this is the first most independent thing she's ever done in her life.
Well, let's take a look at Natalie's scores right now. She's averaged out with a 7.2 and unfortunately scoring a pretty low 6.3 from Judge B. But she still has the ball down round to get through. Let's get back to Scotland Arena and the finalists.
A golden girl from the Golden City, Diana Tilden-Davis.
This is a girl who, regardless if she wins the title or not tonight, has already won the Miss Sunscapes, which is a 20,000 rand contract with Sun International. She's incredibly popular with the crowds here tonight. Margaret.
Indeed she is. And with all her experience in front of the camera, she has a great deal of confidence. Look at the way she strides across the stage.
And she is so determined to be a fantastic actress, or a successful actress, should I say, and I'm sure she will be.
I'm sure she will too. I can tell you one thing, I would hate to be a judge tonight, because I think they really do have a tough task ahead of them. Right now, let's take a look at Diana's scores. She's averaged out with an 8.0 and scoring pretty well all round. En nou terug na die verhoog toe.
Dames en here, ons 10de finalis, Linda McKenzie.
Here is Linda McKenzie looking quite lovely. Margaret.
Linda says that she thrives under pressure, and she was one of the few girls who complained that she would have preferred to be just a tad busier. And if you know what their schedule was like, they've had a pretty hectic schedule.
Absolutely.
Well, she's a girl that always is kept so busy, because any spare time she used to waitress, always to get a little bit of extra money, like most girls do, to pay for studies or whatever they want to do.
In fact, let's take a look at Linda's scores. Unfortunately, she at the moment has a rather low score. Her average is 6.9, but down here in the corner, Judge I has given her a whopping 8.1, which is super. And as we said, it can go either way tonight. Let's get back to the stage.
She's a public relations officer from Bloemfontein, Diana Wilson.
Ons enigste finalis van Bloemfontein af en sy lyk pragtig vanaand. Margaret.
Indeed she does. She says that she's getting a lot of support from her boss, and even if she doesn't win the contest, he's promised her a raise. She said one of her favorite pastimes during the pageant has been sitting in her pajamas with her roommate doing impressions of the other contestants.
Well, I hope he hasn't been doing impersonations of us presenters.
She most probably has been. Let's take a look at Tiyané's scores at this point in time. She has averaged with a 6.9, but Judge G has given her 7.2. En nou terug na die verhoog toe.
Dames en here, ons 12de finalis, al die pad van die Kaap af, Paul Mitchell.
Last but certainly not least, Pearl Mitchell. Margaret.
Pearl is very modest and was surprised to discover that she was one of the favorites in last week's Sunday Times poll. She believes image will ultimately be expressed through personality, regardless of what she's wearing. And she certainly looks good out there tonight.
Well, Pearl, like all the girls, have really enjoyed these bathing costumes. I think it's this new fashion with the padded bras. You know, it gives a little bit of pop where nature hasn't been so
And it helps to balance the figure.
Oh, absolutely.
It does indeed. Yes, on the quest for zero defect. Right, let's take a look at Pearl's scores. She's averaged with a 7.2. And right now we're going to be taking a look at the overall scoring for this section. Amy Kleinhans led with 8.1. Diana and Sasha with Kantai with 8.2. And in third place we have Odette with 7.8. Right, let's get back to the stage. Well, the title is...
Daar sy, dames en here, daar het ons 12 pragtige finaliste in swemdrag verskarp deur Woolworths en Sandton City, juweliersware van F. Friedman Juweliers.
You viewed our 12 lovely finalists in their swimwear by Woolworths, accessorized by F. Friedman of Sandton City.
Ek sien die manne op die verhoog voel amper net soos ek. Dames en here, ek dink jy sal saam met my stem dat die spanning en opwinding nou vinnig besig is om toe te neem.
And this year is, of course, the richest Miss SA pageant ever. And the winner tonight takes away with her no less than 700,000 rands worth of prizes.
Jy is heeltemal reg, Dorien. Hierdie is die rykste mevrou SA skoonheidskompetisie ooit met die grootste versameling van aanloklike pryse.
And so this one's for our sponsors, without whom none of this would be possible tonight.
Take 12 of the most beautiful girls in our land. Add some dancers, add a band. Put in some music, put in a beat, put in some rhythm to help you tap your feet. Stir them up together in the Super Bowl. What do you got? You gotta show.
Hey, let me introduce you to our sponsors. A fine bunch of people, I would say. Remember that without these sponsors and without their prizes, a show like this would never see the light of day.
They've made it happen right here, right now.
Let's hear it for the sponsors.
Santa City is the big one. It's Miss South Africa's World in One. Santa City is the big one. It's everybody's World in One.
They'll wine her and they'll dine her, and their shops by the score to give her everything she needs. And they don't look like more.
Santa City is the big one. It's Miss South Africa's World in One.
Santa City is the big one. It's your world in We didn't invent
Lion, the birds and the bees did.
We didn't invent
Lion, the birds and the trees did.
We didn't invent
Lion, we only perfected it. SA Airways perfected it. Perfected it. Miss SA can take endless holidays. Every one of you can take endless holidays. RCI is your travel club. RCI.
What about transport?
Money's on budget.
What about transport?
Money's on budget.
If our beauty queen wants to ride,
Money's on budget.
if our queen wants to ride in style,
Money's on budget. Smart money's on budget. Yeah. Smart money's on budget. They made it happen. They made it happen. They made it happen. Thank you for the show. First, National Bank. First, National Bank. First, our Miss SA will need a bank. First, that she can trust. First for you. First National Bank. First, our Miss SA will need a bank. First, that she can trust. First for you. First National Bank. It just isn't true. It just isn't true. It just isn't true.
it just isn't true. It just isn't you. With your short-term insurance needs, with your short-term insurance needs. the Carlton Hotel. The Carlton Hotel. The Carlton Hotel.
King of the office jungle, Xerox. King of the office jungle, Xerox. King of the office jungle, Xerox. Xerotech. King of the office jungle, Xerotech. King of the office jungle, Xerotech. 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 They make it happen. They make it happen. They make it happen. Thank you for the show. Building beautiful bodies. Building beautiful bodies. Help and racket. Building beautiful bodies. Building beautiful bodies. Help and racket. Good on hydro. Good on hydro. Good on hydro.
Put you on the road to good
Leaders in health and skin care. Today's training for tomorrow. Today's training for tomorrow.
Purity in style, purity in nature, pure style. holiday.
Smart money's on budget. Smart money's on budget.
Right in style.
Smart money's on budget.
Right in
Smart money's on budget.
A final thank you. Sun City Super Bowl.
And to Emmet.
Thank you for the show. Thank you for the show. Thank you for the show. Thank you for the
show. Thank you for the show.
And as we depicted, our sponsors are very important to us.
Dames en heren, ons is binnenkort weer terug by u, maar eers weer tyd vir handelsnuus.
Fabulous ball gowns, exclusively designed for them by Spiro Villiotti of Santon City. Their jewelry by F. Friedman Jewelers.
Dames en heren, ons eerste finalis, KARRYN EISELE.
KARRYN EISELE looking the epitome of Walt Disney's Cinderella. Margaret.
KARRYN loves this dress. She's very self-conscious about her height and feels that this dress makes her look taller, which is obviously adds tremendous confidence to her walk.
Penny? KARRYN certainly looks very bridal, and when I asked if marriage was on the horizon, you know what she said? She said, I have not been presented with the right package deal yet.
I'm sure she'll be inundated with proposals tomorrow.
I'm quite sure. Let's take a look at her score at this stage. KARRYN has averaged out with a 7.5, and Judge A gave her a nice 8.0. Right now, let's get back to the stage, because here comes Odette.
Here's our lovely second contestant. She comes from Jeffreys Bay in Port Elizabeth, Miss Odette VANONSELEN.
Who is also very, very popular with the crowd, certainly the people sitting around us, looking absolutely stunning in her black number.
She says the dress captures her romantic side. She also says that she came to the contest as a child but is leaving as an adult. And tonight she looks all grown up.
She certainly does. And I was told that if she had a choice between a week in a luxury hotel or this camp, she actually said she would prefer the bush, but I can hardly imagine But a glamorous girl wouldn't look as good in the bush as well, don't you agree?
Indeed. And ladies and gentlemen, all those people at home, I just want to say, I'm sure you can feel how the tension is mounting right here in the Super Bowl. And we haven't got long to go before we announce the winner. Right now, let's take a look at Odette's score. She's averaged out with a 7.7. Her scores are looking pretty good all round. Right now, let's get back to the stage.
Dames en heren, ons derde finalis, Amy Kleinhans.
Kleinhans looking absolutely regal once again in her beautiful dress. Do you know, this dress for me absolutely enhances that 60s look, which has come back into fashion so strongly here in the 90s.
Indeed it has. Amy says that the gown tells a story about her. The black epitomizes her strength, and the pink chiffon, her femininity.
Penny?
Amy is such a positive person. She has grown up just as she wanted to be, and she is exactly where she also wants to be. She regrets nothing, and is most thankful to her parents for everything that she is and everything she has, and I think that's so beautiful.
That is, and if she wins the prize tonight, she'll be exactly where she wants to be for the next year. Amy scored 7.7 in this round. Right now, let's get back to the stage.
And here's Sasha-Lee Walton, dressed by Spiro Vigliotti, accessorized by F. Friedman.
Well, we've seen 4 girls so far. We've got another 8 to go before we announce the top 5 finalists. As you can hear, this lady is very, very popular with the audience.
The crowd is going crazy. This is the first time Sasha-Lee has ever been in a ball gown. You'd never believe it to look at her. This lady has a lot of style and grace.
Penny?
I can only just confirm what you said. She's looking out of this world. No wonder everybody's going crazy.
Absolutely. And one of the things I loved about her, she said when she got given her dress by Spiro, she said, if I had walked into a shop, this would have been the one that I would have chosen automatically.
Certainly suits her.
Let's take a look at Sasha's scores. Right now, she has averaged out with 7.7 and done pretty well with a couple of 8s stuck in there. Right now, let's get back to Scott and Doreen in the next finalist.
Dames en heren, ons 5de finalis, SANET Langenhoven, ook geklee in uitrusting deur Spiro Vigliotti en juweliersware van F. Friedman Juweliers.
Hier is Sanet in 'n pragtige rooi rok en ek dink sy lyk presies soos Scarlett O'Hara.
Red, she told me, is her favorite color, capturing her passionate nature and her happy and strong disposition. She certainly looks happy tonight.
And this is a dress she says she never ever wants to take off.
And if she takes away the crown tonight, she might not have to. Right now, let's take a look at Sanet's score. She's averaged out with a 7.1. Unfortunately, a pretty low score from Judge 6.2. But who knows? Altogether added up, she might be walking off with that crown. En nou is dit terug na die verhoog toe.
She was chosen as Miss Personality in this contest. Here she is, Chantelle FOURIE.
Chantelle FOURIE, our Miss Personality, fitness fanatic, looking absolutely stunning in a creation by Spiro Vigliotti.
She says her dress is bright and energetic, just like her personality, but the black covers it slightly and indicates the subtlety that she also has.
Penny?
Chantelle is a girl who doesn't like invasion of her space, and she says she doesn't like touches or clingers.
And one of the things that I love that she said is she hopes to be the first Miss South Africa with short hair. And who knows, because we haven't got long to go. Let's take a look at Chantelle's scores right now. She's averaged out with 7.4, and again, pretty good scores all around with a nice one from Judge G, 8.4. En nou is het terug naar die verhoog toe.
Dames en heren, ons 7de finalis, OLGA, TOIT.
My, she looks absolutely exquisite in those rich peacock colors. Margaret?
She's so graceful out there on the stage, and the camera simply loves this girl. She walks with great confidence. It'll be interesting to see how the judges score her.
Yes, it will.
Yes, it'll be very interesting because she has really been very, very popular, and I'd like to see what's going to happen at that
She has indeed. She has that very beautiful, serene, ethereal quality about her.
Indeed.
So let's take a look at how the judges have scored her. She's averaged out with a 7.8, but a nice couple of 8s all in there. Right now, let's get back to the stage to Scott and Doreen.
She's 19 years old from Somerset West, Natalie BENARD.
Yeah? Natalie looks absolutely beautiful in this dress. And when I asked her what she thought of this dress, she said it reminded her of Pandora's box.
She certainly looks divine in white with her tumbling red hair. She looks like she's just stepped out of a fairy tale.
She said dearly wants to keep this dress. And why not? Come on, Spiro.
Well, who knows? If she wins the title, she may just be able to. Let's take a look at Natalie's scores this time. She has averaged out with 7.3 and done pretty well all round. Right now, let's get back to the stage.
Dames en heren, ons 9de finalist, die 22-jarige Diana Tilden-Davis.
Here is Diana in a dress which makes her look the epitome of a fairy princess.
She feels she's living a fairy tale existence, and her dress has captured that aspect of her life. It also expresses her demure romantic side, and she certainly looks like a princess tonight.
She does. And if this princess wins, she says she wants to help all those less fortunate than herself and spread lots of love and goodwill.
What a nice thing to say. Yes, it is indeed. Let's take a look at her scores. So far, she's in the lead with lots of 8s jammed in there from all the judges and an average of 8.1. Right now, let's get back to the stage.
Here's our 10th finalist, Linda McKenzie, dressed by Spiro Gugliotti, accessorized F. Friedman Jewelers.
Linda looks absolutely superb, but I have the feeling that this could be quite a difficult dress to wear. Margaret?
I asked her how she felt about wearing a mini, as all the others are in gowns, and she said she was not concerned as the mini shows off her legs, which she considers her best asset.
Penny?
She certainly has good legs, and she has thoroughly enjoyed all the royal treatment that she's had. She said she's really going to miss it.
Born to the royal lifestyle. Let's take a look at Linda's scores at this time. She's averaged out with 6.9, and she's done pretty well all around. En nou is het terug naar de juffrouw Suid-Afrika skoonheidscompetitie.
Dames en heren, ons 11de finalist, die 19-jarige Tayané Wilson, ook geklee aan 'n uitrusting van Spiro Gugliotti en bykomstighede voorsien deur F. Friedman Juweliers.
Gosh, aren't these ball gowns something quite spectacular? I know Tayané was feeling a little bit concerned in this revealing dress of hers, but she's been working like crazy on her stomach muscles.
She told me that even though the gown is revealing, she's not that worried, as she will definitely catch the judge's eyes, and who could miss her?
Oh, well, she certainly has that oriental look about her tonight, which enhances her beauty and certainly captures her personality.
It does indeed. Let's take a look at Tayané's scores. She's averaged out with a 6.9 and done pretty well all round once again. I really would hate to be a judge tonight. They are going to have a very tough time choosing. Right now, let's get back to the stage.
She's come a long way and she's waited in the wings for a long time. Our 12th contestant, Pearl Mitchell.
This is a girl who seems to be immensely popular with the crowds here in the Super Bowl tonight. Margaret,
does anyone notice that she's wearing Springbok colors? The green represents her earthy nature, and the gold shows that she's a winner.
Pearl gave me a lovely quote. Today's dream is a threshold of tomorrow's discoveries. And who knows, she may just discover tonight's dream will be a reality for her.
Absolutely, and who knows, Springbok colours could be a very good omen. Let's take a look at her
card as well.
She is too. Let's take a look at her score. She's averaged out with 7.1. Right now we're going to be giving you the results of all the girls in their ball gowns. First is Diana Tilden-Davis with 8.1, then Olga with 7.8, and Sasha, Amy and Odette all tied in third place. Now I'm sure what must be uppermost in all the girls' minds right now.
And there they are, ladies and gentlemen, the 12 most beautiful girls in the country who are all anxiously awaiting the judges' results. Yes, some appreciation for them, please. Thank you. Thank you.
Daar sy, dames en heren, geef vir ons 12 prachtige finaliste, allemaal geklee in hulle aanduitrustings, 'n wonderlike handeklap.
Go through to the final round. Well, I'm sure what must be uppermost in all the girls' minds right now is the fact that only 5 of them will go through to the final round.
Penny? And 7 of these lovely girls are going to be sadly disappointed. But I'm sure the last 4 weeks have really been something they're going to remember for the rest of their lives.
And the contest isn't over yet, so don't go away. The winner's right round the corner.
Right, so let's take a look at the final scores for this ball ground round. First came Diana with 8.1, second Olga with 7.2, and there was a tie in third place with Sasha, Amy, and Odette.
Joanne, it's not over yet. We're about to announce the results of the Sunday Times.
That's correct. I think right now
reader
it's time for you to go over to
competition.
Derek, our
The girl
independent
who is
score
most
controller,
popular
with a
will
list of the
receive
top
bonus
5
points,
girls.
which Derek is feeding into his computer right now. Penny?
That's right, Margaret, and it could possibly make a difference to the final results.
Our independent score controller with a list of the names of the top 5 girls. Now, I would like to stress that the names are being printed out by the computer this very minute, in no particular order, does not reflect on the placing at all.
Jy is heeltemal reg, Dorien, dit is lewendige televisie en dit is hoekom ons weer begin het, maar in elk geval, voordat ek die name bekend gaan maak van ons 5 finaliste wat gaan deurdring na die eindronde toe, wil ek net vir al 12 hierdie pragtige meisies sê, julle was allemaal wonderlik gewees, en ek weet allemaal van julle kan nie deurdring nie, maar ek dink net om alleen 'n finaliste kon wees vir die 1991 rapport Sunday Times mevrou SA skoonheidskompetisie, was al klaar 'n groot eer. So, aan allemaal van julle voorspoed. Ek het die lys met die 5 name van ons 5 finaliste wat gaan deurdring na die eindronde toe.
Die groot oomblik het aangebreek.
En voordat ek hulle name gaan bekend maak, wil ek net vir u sê, ek gaan die name uitlees in geen spesifieke orde nie. Dorien, sal jy hom asseblief vir ons oopmaak. Dames en here, die eerste finalis wat deurdring na die eindronde toe, finalis Amy Kleinhans. Dit los ons met nog 4 name oor vir 4 finaliste wat gaan deurdring. En die tweede van hierdie 5 wat deurdring is finalis Sasha-Lee Walton.
Sasha-Lee Walton. Nou ja, nog 3 meisjes moet aangekondig worden. En ek het gesê, sy het 'n gelukkige nommer 7, Olga de TOIT.
Dames en heren, dit bring ons by die tweede laaste finalis wat gaan deurdring. En die volgende gelukkige finalis is Diana Tilden-Davis.
And the last name we'd like to announce in our list of top 5 girls, she is number 1, KARRYN ISELE.
Die 5de finalis wat dan deurdring, finalis KARRYN ISELE.
Well, what a wonderful surprise. What do you girls think?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Very well deserved. I asked Elizabeth Chabalele what she was looking for in a winner, and she said she wanted somebody who would turn heads when they walked in the room. And I think these 5 girls
Well, listen to them in the audience going crazy. And in just after the commercial break, we will be announcing the top 3 finalists. Let's get back to the stage and Scott and Doreen.
Daar sê wel, dankie Joanne, hulle is terug by ons op die vloer en ek dink net ek wil vir ons 5 finaliste sê baie geluk.
Yes, congratulations to the top 5 girls.
Wel dames en here, daar het jy nou ons 5 finaliste wat deurgedring het. En die volgende wat vir ons oorbly om te doen, is om totsiens te sê aan mevrou SA in 1990, Suzette van der Merwe. Maar voordat ons dit gaan doen, gaan ons eers vir Derek 'n kans gee om weer al sy inligting in sy rekenaar in te voer. En ek dink wat ons intussen gaan doen, en ook om ons 5 finaliste hier voor sy harte so 'n bietjie te laat kalmeer, gaan ons kyk, gaan ons na handelsflitse toe of gaan ons nie, Dorien?
Time for another ad break, yes.
Daar sê tyd vir handelsflitse.
Van der Merwe, who throughout the year of her reign exhibited the grace, style and modesty that has brought credit to the title Miss South Africa.
Daar sê dames en here, die tyd het aangebreek om totsiens te sê aan mevrou SA 1990, Suzette van der Merwe.
Tonight, as I prepare to hand over my crown to my successor, I can't help reflecting back on a fairy tale year with more than a bit of nostalgia. My years in Miss South Africa has allowed me to meet South Africa in a way which very few people have the chance to do. Ons land is vol pragtige gasvrye mense wat altyd bereid was om te gee. Dankie vir al die glimlagte, handdrukke, goeie wense en ondersteuning. Wat sou mevrou SA sonder julle wees, die publiek? A special thank you to Report and Sunday Times for your guidance and all my sponsors for their generosity. Aan my ouers, Tanya en Greg, julle was altyd daar om my by te staan. As the function of a Miss SA evolves and expands, it is now more than ever an ambassadorial role. Thank you, South Africa, for trusting me to be your ambassador. Alle sukses aan my opvolger met nuwe horisonne en uitdagings voor haar. God seën Suid-Afrika. Goeienaand.
Dames en here, mevrou SA Suid-Afrika 1990, Suzette van der Merwe.
Yes, there she is, our Miss South Africa for 1990, Suzette van der Merwe. Thank you, Suzette.
Wel, dames en here, daar het ons nou sopas afskeid geneem van Suzette. En dit bring ons by die groot oomblik van die aand. Die aankondiging van ons 2 prinsesse en natuurlik die 1991 rapport Sunday Times mevrou SA. Maar voordat ons die name gaan bekend maak, wil ek net vir ons 5 finaliste wat deurgedring het, vra om so 'n bietjie nader te kom. Ek wil hoor hoe hulle harte klop.
Yes, the judges have judged. The computer has calculated, and now it's time for the big moment. Derek, may I have the envelope, please?
Daar sê soos ons kykers by die huis kan hoor dat die gehoor hier so in die Sun City Super Bowl almal wil hê dat hulle spesiale meisies moet wen. Ons gaan begin deur die naam bekend te maak van ons tweede prinses. En voordat ek dit gaan bekend maak, wil ek net aan al 5 ons finaliste wat wel deurgedring het na die eindronde toe vir julle almal sê, ek dink almal van julle is die mevrou SA titel waardig en weer eens voorspoed. So, ons tweede prinses dan, dames en here, vir die 1991 rapport Sunday Times mevrou SA skoonheidskompetisie gaan aan Sasha-Lee Walton. Our second princess then, ladies and gentlemen, for the 1991 Sunday Times rapport Miss SA Beauty Pageant, Sasha-Lee Walton. Daar sê dames en here, daar is ons tweede prinses dan, Sasha-Lee Walton, en dit bring ons by ons eerste prinses. Nou voordat ek ons eerste prinses se naam gaan bekend maak, moet ek net aan u verduidelik dat indien mevrou SA 1991 haar titel sou verbeur om een of ander rede, word die eerste prinses natuurlik outomaties die 1991 mevrou SA. So, ons eerste prinses vir die 1991 rapport Sunday Times mevrou SA skoonheidskompetisie, Amy Kleinhans. Ladies and gentlemen, our first princess for the 1991 Sunday Times rapport Miss SA Beauty Pageant, Amy Kleinhans. Dames en here, en dit bring ons by die groot oomblik van die aand. Ons het ons twee prinsesse, die eerste en die tweede prinses. En ons wenner, die 1991 rapport Sunday Times mevrou SA gaan aan Diana Tilden-Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, our 1991 Sunday Times rapport Miss SA goes to Diana Tilden-Davis.
Yes, there she is, the golden girl from the golden city. Let's hear it for Miss Diana Tilden-Davis.
Sy dames en here, ons 1991 rapport Sunday Times mevrou SA dan Diana Tilden-Davis.
There she is, our Sunday Times report 1991 Miss South Africa, Diana Tilden-Davis. Tonight is gonna be the greatest scene you've ever seen. This time is the best time of your life. This is the time, this is the time, this is the big, big time. And you know it when the moment arrives.
wonderful opportunity for this very special girl who was number one with the judges, number one with the public, and number one with everybody.
A truly worthy winner. And I really think she'll make a wonderful ambassadress for South Africa. I really enjoy it tonight.
Absolutely wonderful, and congratulations to the winner. Absolutely, I'm sure you'll both join me in wishing Diana Tilden-Davis the best of luck in her year ahead. And Margaret and Penny, it's been an absolute honor and a privilege having both of you here. From us here in the commentary booth at the Sun City Super Bowl. Goodbye until next year. Bye, South Africa.
You've been watching the 1991 Sunday Times Report Miss SA Pageant. This has been a live transmission on Mnet from the Super Bowl here at Sun City.
Jy het gekyk na die 1991 rapport Sunday Times met juffrou SA skoonheidskompetisie op Mnet. Hierdie was 'n regstreekse uitsending van die Super Bowl by Sun City.
And living love as hard as you